Hi folks, I'm Mike Madeja, Director of Education at the Independent Seaport Museum. I'm glad to be joined here today with Captain Stanley Koska of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Captain Stan, what are we standing in front of today?
You're standing in front of the hopper dredge McFarland, a 319-foot hopper dredge that's owned and operated by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
So what is a dredge?
Well, the McFarland is a hopper dredge, a reverse trailing suction hopper dredge actually. And so what that means is we effectively take these two drag arms. This is the starboard side. We have another one located on the port side. We actively run and drag those two quote-unquote vacuum cleaners, actively loading sediment from the bottom into the center of the ship.
Awesome, and that's the point of a dredge, right? You're loading sediment from the bottom of the body of water onto the dredge itself.
That's correct, yeah, to maintain a minimum channel in the depth. So shoaling will happen for various reasons, river currents, storms, etc. And part of what the ship's mission is to maintain a minimum navigation depth for commerce to safely transit waterways.
And that's what part of the Delaware is still used for today, active shipping channel, active shipping route that people don't often think about, especially when they're further up north along the river, right?
Of course, yeah. So there's, from sea to here is roughly about 75 nautical miles. Okay. It starts down at the Delaware Capes and you proceed up the river from the bay into the Delaware River, which we obviously, the part of the project that McFarland House maintain is literally 100 nautical miles of navigable channel that goes all the way up to Fairless Hills.
Yeah, and that's essential for every operation along the river, all the economics, commerce that's happening in and around the city. This is a massive operation and a major one. So how long have you been with the McFarland?
I have been on the McFarland now for approximately 19 years. 19
years. All right, so we have a bona fide expert on the McFarland. We'll get to go on board in a little bit and talk a little bit more about how the McFarland works. So come along as we explore the Dredge McFarland. All right, so we're officially on board the McFarland, and we're standing under what right now?
This is the starboard draghead.
Okay.
Which is the inlet for the suction.
Okay.
Of the suction tubing.
Yeah, and that means there's another one on the other side of the port.
There is, yeah. This is the starboard side, which is the right side of the boat, and the port, right? And so the entire arm weighs about 60 ton. McFarland has dredging capabilities of 55 feet. She can dredge down to 55, and what you're looking at is approximately 10 foot wide. Drag head, it's about 12 ton. So this is the business end of a 60 ton drag arm, right? It's where the suction occurs and where this piece will meet the bottom and creating the vacuum that's needed from the pump to pull sediment down the arm and to be loaded into the hopper section of the ship.
How does the suction work? Is it powered by the diesel engines?
So the McFarland has 10 engines aboard. Okay. It's the pumps are powered by electric motors.
Okay.
3,000 horsepower Westinghouse electric motors that turn 14-foot diameter pumps.
Yeah, what is the scale of 3,000 horsepower for a regular person?
It'll suck an engine block clean off the seabed. Car batteries.
That's huge. That's massive.
It is very big.
That is a very powerful.
To quote a friend of mine, car batteries, bowling balls, it discriminates against nothing.
And nothing gets clogged in there ever.
No, so that's part of the grading that you see, part of the integrated system, right? It's for inflow screening to make sure that nothing too large gets caught in our pumps.
Okay, all right. So if you're looking for a bowling ball, definitely join the dredging crew of the McFarland. You might find one or two or a couple more odd things there. Yeah. All right. So now we're looking at the top part of the dredge that we were just looking at. The drag arm.
Yep.
Okay.
And so what you have here is the drag head, which is the suction component.
Okay.
Then as you lead forward, you have the ball joint.
Ball joint.
And then we have another term where the elbow is, and that's called the trunnion.
All right, so like from here, right, you got the dredge head, you got the going up to the ball joint, and then you got
drag head, trunnion. Okay. Drag head, ball joint, trunnion. And these three components, there's three davits.
Okay. Yeah.
We hoist them all at the same time, and we breast the arm out.
Okay.
And then we lower it into its suction position, right, which is seated down low in the boat. Yep.
Okay.
And so that's where it meets up to the pump.
Got it.
So yeah, like from her 10-foot wide drag head, it then couples into 34-inch suction.
Okay.
And so the suction inlet for the McFarland is 34 inches, which still to this day remains very effective. And yeah, it's a large suction inlet, and she's very efficient as far as that goes. She has very big dredge gear.
Okay, and then actively takes on weight as she's dredging.
It will the ship will actively load. Yeah. The arm doesn't really change weight. Right. The ship does, right?
No,
and that's a function of displacement.
Right, that's awesome.
Of course.
And you said she's pretty efficient, but she was built in, you mentioned the 1967.
She was built 1965. I started in 65 and finished in 67 in Sparrows Point, Maryland, over here, and that was right at the top of Chesapeake Bay.
Awesome, cool. Yeah, so like still like a decent age for a ship, but highly efficient and still
she's in her senior years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, she's here, but she's doing well.
Yeah. cool.
Let's we'll slide over here and I'll show you the hopper section.
Sounds perfect. So for those who aren't here in person too, one of the lingering thoughts I had about this experience of going on the dredge today was how much like the bay or how much like the ocean or how the scent might actually be on board. And it's a little bit like bay at the Jersey Shore scent in this room right now, which is pretty cool and like fun to experience overall. But also looking all the way down, that's quite a dive.
Yeah, so this section of the ship is called a hopper. It's the mid-body of the ship. It's where we're able to load. So the McFarland has a cubic capacity of 3,148 cubic yards.
3,148 cubic yards.
Yes, indeed. Yes, she is a medium-class hopper dredge. So
that's me.
What does that mean? When we say what is a cubic yard, it is 3 by 3 by 3, and she will hold approximately 3,100 of them as she loads. That is a function of displacement, of course, right? So obviously the fact that we dredge a combination of water and sediment, right? There's an opportunity for the water to drain off.
To displace that,
To be displaced by that sediment. So depending on what we load and how we load, from empty to full, if the hopper is completely pumped down, it'll take us 11 minutes just to fill it with water, with both pumps running. It goes quick, 22 minutes with one.
Dang.
And so once it's loaded, depending on the bottom type, it can take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and a half to get what we call an economic load.
Okay, and you said bottom type too, and I think people often think that rivers, oceans, lakes all have the same type of sediment at the bottom.
They do not.
Right?
No.
And they don't.
No, they do not. So again, there's that's part of what the Corps of Engineers provides, right? Not only do we provide a minimum depth in channels, but we survey and know what bottom types are. So we experience anything from if not so much in the Delaware here. In the Delaware here, typically you're finding a combination of, cobble, gravel, mud, sand, clay.
Yeah, you name it at this point, right?
Yeah, and then there's an organic mix, right? So there's lots of runoff, right? Like there's just like life happens, right? And so the evolution of shoaling and how that occurs and where is part of what makes a hopper so effective. There are different ways. There's lots of different types of dredges.
That's very cool to know too, because I think people have an image in their mind of either they're a dredging chicken or there's a dredge, and that's pretty much it, right? There are two modes of this. That's all you get.
Everybody thinks of the shovel in a bucket, right?
But this is much different.
It goes back to the Egyptians, right? But what this ship has been able to do is be a very effective tool, not just here in Philadelphia, but all over the country.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this is a major service provided in any number of ways too, because water is body of the ocean, you name it, they all change their sediment over time, so this never ends.
No, so the McFarland is one of 4 large class dredges, unlimited class dredges that the Corps of Engineers owns and operates. We have one here, and she's been in the Philadelphia district since 1985. And so she's worked here, local in the Delaware, and in other dredging emergencies all over the country, from Maine to Texas.
From Maine to Texas. That's a huge, huge area.
It's a big geographic area. So our
primary
purpose is to work here. Right now, approximately 70 days here on the Delaware, and it's been really effective for our projects here and helping to maintain post-deepening what has been really important for commerce.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You asked about what capacity looks like. An F-150, when you would go and drive over to a yard and get some mulch for your yard. And they say, hey, I need a yard of mulch. A yard of mulch is effectively a 1-yard bucket. When you load that into an F-150, it fills the bed effectively.
That's so impressive too. And then so you end up with all this extra weight, you end up with all this extra sediment. Where does the sediment go?
Where does it go? So it loads into this section. That's exactly right. In what we call a hopper section. And so how do ships load, right? How do they float, right? So effectively, it takes approximately, it takes about 40 tons to sink the McFarland 1 inch. So for every 40 tons you put on, she'll go down 1 inch. We load approximately 6 feet. We change draft about 6 feet from light to loaded during a dredging process. So
this is the part of ships and mechanical ships like a dredge that just are truly mind-boggling. People see a ship going up and down the river and they're like, I get it, that's fine, that's easy. But for something like this, the amount of engineering, the amount of math that have to go into making this function and flow,
she's a marvel of engineering. So one of the other things is, what you haven't asked a question yet, but I'm going to lead you there, right?
Yes.
This is the thing. So she loads approximately 3,000 yards, right? We'll just call it 3,000 for the sake of it. What do we do with it once we load it? So located below us here are 12 bottom doors. So the Corps of Engineers designates specific disposal sites. So one of the things that we do is called dredge and haul. We load the material, We run as quickly as we can to that disposal site, reduce speed, and go into a specific cell that's been designated for dredge spoil. At that point, we open and activate our bottom doors, right? And we place that sediment very accurately in that area. Another way that the McFarland can handle the same thing is we do what we call a direct pump out method. We couple to a pipeline, we re-slurry the material, and we pump it through a 26-inch discharge. The McFarland can pump approximately 2 miles up 100-foot elevation. She's truly an engineering marvel. Now, it's not just 2, it's a triple threat. It's a Swiss Army knife of dredges, right? So the really cool part about this is located above us in what looks like a giant bridge is a side caster. That side caster will rotate 90 degrees to either side, and it gives us the capability to side cast approximately 165 feet off the center line. It's used typically in high emergency situations due to high turbidity, and is an effective means to open a channel in an emergency fashion. But they found, again, over time that there are more effective ways. One of them being dredge and haul, and then the other one is the pump out method, which allows us to rehandle the material, right? It can be used in construction purposes, making concrete, building berms, and even recreating land.
Especially with shoreline erosion, major things like that. That's all a major kind of usage of that material.
The McFarland doesn't always doesn't do beach replenishment, but there are other hopper dredges that do. We specifically pump into our disposal sites where those are typically rehandled at different points. And the Corps of Engineers repurposes that soil, that we use in other projects throughout this entire area.
It's all so impressive and
no, you're moving Earth. If you like the sandbox, this is a cool job.
It's the perfect way of continuing that trend for yourself. All right, so where are we now officially? In a nice air-conditioned space, lots of crew around.
We're located in the wheelhouse of the McFarland. This is where we control all functions, right? You have everything from engine controls, steering, radars for collision avoidance, VHFs for communication, depth sounders, various different production pieces of equipment that help us monitor our production, how well we're loading, displacement, draft.
There is so much to look at and observe and see here. How specialized are crew that work in the wheelhouse in particular?
So how specialized are the crew? That's a great question. Well, as you can see, the mates are getting ready to get underway as we're sailing in a couple hours, but how specialized are they? Very, very much so. So we invest quite a bit in the training and operation of vessels like this, right? Because they are unique. And so if you've run one hopper dredge, you can't necessarily, you can run them all, but you have to learn it. And so there is that learning curve. McFarland's been established. There's a lot of institutional knowledge. And so through a lot of mentorship, even, to me in my career here, right, you receive a lot of that time and attention that you need to be successful. Not just here in Philly, but in many navigation missions that we've gone and done.
Right, and there's a reason that so many metaphors and similes and just turns of phrase are about working like you're on a ship. Anyway, so the number of crew and the way they have to work together is
everybody's important, right? So from captain to the cook, right? Everybody stays in their lane and they do their job, and that's a big part of mission success.
So you also mentioned something pretty exciting that you're getting ready to head out or go out. What happens to prepare the ship for that?
Well, what second mate right now is doing is he's pulling charts for where we're going to work. He's making sure that things are up to date.
That's awesome.
We test all our gear, right? So we test engine control, shutdowns, etc. Right? We go through, test our general arm, our PA system, right? We have mandated tests that are done because we're a Coast Guard inspected vessel. And so prior to getting underway, we have a full checklist. We run through that checklist, and that includes everything from making sure that your basic hotel services are online, right? So in addition to being a machine, right? It's also like a floating city.
People on board that need
There's a sewage system, there is an air conditioning system, there is all of those things. And so with the help of a fantastic engineering department, right? Those guys give us the power that we need to direct all of this, right? And make it happen.
How long does it take to get ready to go out?
Usually roughly 4 to 6 hours.
4 to 6 hours. That's
provided that we're loaded with fuel. Provided that we have fuel and all of our stuff aboard,
That's so intense.
So it's not too bad,
but a very doable thing. So what else does somebody need to know about the wheelhouse?
Oh, well, the wheelhouse. So we work, there's a bunch, obviously you see some people behind, but typically working up here, there's the function of 2 deck officers. Much like in aviation, a pilot and a co-pilot. We work with 2 unlimited class licensed deck officers. They work in tandem with each other to generate a really safe, it's almost like a check and balance thing.
You need both.
Right, and other ships have a different setup, but we found that because the McFarland has to be so adaptable and work in so many different places, that having 2 deck officers has served us really, really well.
So, and you've been with the ship for a while too, so and just thinking about the differences that you mentioned between dredges themselves, but being able to go from Maine to Texas, what would you say are the most polar opposite places you've experienced in terms of just
sure.
the dredging and the capabilities that you need to know?
You can go from working in the Mississippi River, which can have a 5-knot current at times, right?
Yeah.
And then you can go to a place like Brownsville, Texas, where the wind blows 35 every day, right? And you can come back here and have everything freezing up on you, right?
Yeah.
So you can go and work in New York Harbor and have, crazy amounts of traffic, right? And VTS systems where you have to check in and check out.
Being able to operate
it's about, part of being a crew member on here is being versatile, right? And being very, very flexible.
Yeah.
So that gives you the ability, if everybody works together, and we always say dress like a team, play like a team.
Yeah.
And so we work together not to nothing happens at anybody's expense, but it happens together.
Yeah.
Right.
Simple, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's so necessary, especially experiencing those changes and just the volume of traffic, or even the type of sediment that you're drawing up.
It's going to change every way you go.
For any number of circumstances.
Be ready for anything.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, well, thank you so much for spending time with us today.
Yeah, no, we're happy to do it.
This was a magical experience and a really cool experience, and delighted to have you on board and talking us through how a dredge works.
Sure, we're happy to have you. Thanks, Mike.
Awesome. All right, next up we'll be joined by Tim Kelly of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers for a little bit more on the ship. All right, so Tim Kelly and I are back on the McFarland and doing a little bit more of exploration, but one thing I did want to ask, Captain Sand mentioned earlier about the Philadelphia District. So what does the Army Corps of Engineers do in the Philadelphia District? What are we doing right near Fort Mifflin, the airport? What happens along the Delaware?
Sure, so I'm Tim Kelly, Acting Chief of Operations for the Philadelphia District, and we maintain 105 miles of channel on the Delaware River. So the Delaware River is the main lifeline for bringing goods and services in through the Philadelphia area. We also maintain 46 miles of the channel through the C&D Canal, which connects Philadelphia to Baltimore. And then we also maintain the Intercoastal Waterway, which is through New Jersey and then down all the way down through Maryland to Florida.
So about 500 miles of work that y'all have to cover, or river and other bodies of water that you have to cover in the area and in the region, right?
Yes.
Yes, so no pressures, no qualms there. It's a big job to do and take over anyway.
Yeah, it's challenging, and we work with through Dredge McFarland to help us maintain the channels through they have 70 working days on the channel, as well as we do contracts that maintain the channel.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So, and then we have roughly about 8,000 acres on the Delaware River for disposal of dredge material.
Yeah, so you have the base here, and then elsewhere along the river you have those disposal sites, right? Yeah, okay. So not all base here, but spread throughout.
Yes.
Okay, that's amazing. Because it has to happen, right? We were talking about how much sediment gets bumped onto here. If you're moving along, you can't always necessarily come back to where you started, but it's easier to have sites along the way.
Yeah, so through the McFarland as well as our contract dredging, we move about 3 million cubic yards a year. So
3 million cubic yards.
Yes.
And earlier we were talking about the Ford F-150 trucks, right? About 3,000 of those. So 3 million cubic feet of
3 million cubic yards,
which is even
27 cubic feet. Yeah.
Thank you for the math.
Yeah.
That is amazing and astounding to think about, just spatially and weight-wise, about that displacement and that movement of materials. Right. So all of that work, plus climbing up and down 10 levels of the ship. I imagine that's a lot of work for the crew to do. What else do they do on board? Where are they sustained? What do they do if they're not actively working?
Yeah, so the crew actually lives on board while they're underway. They get underway for approximately 2 weeks at a time. They just actually finished a red flag call out down in North Carolina, where they were underway for 39 days straight. So we have a galley on board, and they each have their staterooms on board. But amongst beyond that, they also we have 10 diesels on board, and maintain all the equipment through just their own resources. As Captain Stan likes to say, they're PhDs of the sea. And so they actually maintain the ship and maintain the channels all over the eastern seaboard and the Gulf. Yeah,
because especially if you're out on a deployment of sorts, right, for 39 days, you're not always near land. If something goes wrong, you have to repair it yourself, and you have to take care of that yourself. So having that crew on board that can do that is a major thing and a necessity, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. And they are, there's no fire company that comes out if there's a fire, so they're all trained in emergency operations as well as dredging and maintaining the ship.
Yeah, just add it on. No problem. That's fine, right?
Yeah. So they are active all the time while they're underway.
So I know you mentioned galley on board. One of the things that people love on the Bakuna and the Olympia is seeing the galley. Could we see the galley here?
Sure. Yeah, it's through this door. So there's two areas. This is there's deck officers, licensed officers. In the Navy we call it the wardroom. Okay. And they eat on that side, and then on this side is the crew that they're able-bodied seamen that live here. And then we have the galley, where it's kind of it's a stretch here. I don't know if you want to look inside.
It's like stainless steel heaven every time. Ah, okay. No. Let's see hash browns. Like, really want those. All right, so Tim and I were just talking. Naval traditions and naval terms are always pretty special and kind of sometimes weird. Right now we are in the forecastle of the McFarland. Usually this is just the stern part of the ship, right?
Bow.
Forward. Of the ship. Forward. See, thank you. I'm always learning my naval terms. The crew at home is making fun of me. I know that. I understand that. I'll get there one day. So what happens on this part of the ship?
So up here, they have the anchor windlasses. So we have two anchors. I believe they're 6,000-pound twin flukes. And then more or less, they don't really operate here unless they're going to anchor. But this is up here, as you can see above us, is the bridge. So it's where they operate looking forward and where they're dredging and maintaining their positions.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you for the intro to this part of the ship, and thank you for joining us today. Sure. Excited for the rest of the explorations of dredging the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and seeing where we go from here.
Thanks. I appreciate it. We'll be happy to have you on board and get you out on one of our survey vessels so you can see more of the channel and the Delaware River and what we do for the area.
Awesome. That sounds great. Thank you so much, everybody.